Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Today is Fabulous Friday. It is November 19th, and I am so grateful to be here with you this morning as your host. A couple of quick announcements. Our quote of the day today: showing up builds trust. Trust builds relationships, and relationships build your business. And that rings so true, because as I've shown up to all these events, and I've gotten to know a lot of you who are also consistent with showing up, and no doubt we're building relationships, and it's incredible. So I thought this was a perfect quote. And we've got some dates to take note of. We have our Nationals Conference, Renatus National Conference, March 18th through the 20th, 2021. We're going to be meeting online for our national conference. 3 days of phenomenal training. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you're there. Our theme for our Renatus National Conference is shifting higher into focused transformation. Leaders Retreat is happening August 13th through the 17th, 2021. We've got some time to make whatever needs to happen so that we can be there. All right. And we have on Mondays our Founders Live. Renatus Founders Live every Monday at 4 p.m. So this is a really important announcement. It's a really important webinar with a lot of announcements from our CEO. We've got a training, we've got recognition, and a story of the week. So if you're not tuning into the Founders Live on Monday at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, you're missing out on some good information. And just, you want to stay tuned into what's happening in the business. There are 3 kinds of people in this world: people who make it happen, people who watch what happens, and people who wonder what happened. We've added some awesome content to our daily and weekly support systems. We've got a weekly private capital masterclass every Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time for our AIT students who are studying their classes and have questions perhaps on how to implement some of the private capital information. So Dane Clark has had a lot of success with building capital for his business, so he's helping facilitate that. We had that last night at 6. It was awesome. And every day, Monday through Friday, we have our Dream Call, the Daily Real Estate Action Mastermind. That is 9 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. And it's a great opportunity for you to come and bring your questions regarding any deals that you're facing, any questions that you have on the classes that you're watching, and mastermind with others who are out there taking action. Every Friday, we have our Fabulous Friday Morning with Lily Partas. I mentioned that Lily is traveling today, so we have a special trainer with us today. So happy that you all are tuning in with us on Fabulous Friday. And then every day, Monday through Friday at noon, we have a Zoom up call, the Get to Know You call with Scott Rowe, Michael Huggins, where they are showcasing someone's story. So every single day, we've got a different story of someone's success. And of course, this is built around your guests. So make sure that you're getting your guests tuned into the Zoom up call Monday through Friday at noon. Those are recorded as well. There's a whole chain of those on YouTube, the Elevate Renatus YouTube channel. So make sure you're taking advantage of those recordings, sending those out to your guests, and of course, registering them in Helios so that you get protection for that. So our team, Michael and his team put together a website called oes.com. And there's just a short video on there that talks about what the optional event subscription is and why it's important to be a part of that. So if you haven't already, check that out and sign up for the OES through that site. This week's house tour was awesome. We toured Dane Clark's house, and it was a lot of fun. That tour went a little bit longer just because we were having so much fun going over all the numbers and just talking with all the guests that were both live at the home and online. The purchase price of the property is $150,000, rehab $60,000, and it's already in the process of being sold for $310,000. So the net profit on that is over $72,000. Of course, using none of his own money to get into the deal. That's how we do it. So congratulations, Dane. Incredible work there. For our events every week, this is just a quick snapshot. If you'd like to get a screenshot of this, feel free to do so. This is our reoccurring weekly events. So every Tuesday at 12:30 Mountain Time, we have our Profits Intro. Michael Huggins does a great job at sharing the profits information with our guests from around the world. Every Wednesday, I mentioned, we have our house tour. That's at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And now this is a little bit, this is new as of this week. 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, we have an AIT bonus track study group in Spanish. Every Thursday, we've got all kinds of events to choose from. We have our house tour in Spanish. We've got a Pillars of Wealth presentation talking all about our Renatus education. We have the follow-up and funding webinar, our onboarding session for newer students. Guests are also welcome to tune into the onboarding. We have our essentials, mastermind, business development, and we've got multiple real estate study groups that you can plug in with: multifamily, wholesaling, and short-term rental. We do record these calls. We are on Facebook Live as well as on YouTube. So the Facebook Live you'll find on Renatus Team Elevate, the private Facebook page there. And what I love about Facebook Lives is that you can go back and watch the recording right away. As soon as the video is up, the recording is available for you to watch. So if you're not a part of Renatus Team Elevate private Facebook page, just request to be added. We'll make sure to get you added to that. And then our YouTube channel not only has these morning calls recorded, but also the Zoom up calls that I mentioned a few minutes ago. So take advantage of both of those resources. And today we get to learn from Wanda Carrasquillo. Thank you so much, Wanda, for stepping in today to help out with Lily as Lily is traveling. We really, really appreciate your servant leadership. So Wanda's got some information in store for us today. If you weren't here yesterday and you don't know Wanda's story, I'd love to share it. So Wanda was born in Puerto Rico, and she earned herself 2 master's degrees in education despite many life challenges. In her career, she succeeded in many ways, but only to an extent where she would hit a ceiling every time she tried to reach higher. So at the time, she was trading her time for money. She spent most of her time, well, she did spend a lot of time looking at different opportunities, business opportunities, but at the time, none of those were ever really accomplished. So now with Renatus, her entrepreneurial spirit is shining. And it was about 4 years ago that Wanda found Renatus. So in the first 8 months alone, she earned herself 6 figures and has continued to do so each year after. That's incredible. And she's also killing it on the real estate side. Wanda's completed around 20 real estate transactions, and I know she just closed on another deal. So that's really exciting. She's built a large team of entrepreneurs. She is on the pit with our CEO, Bob Snyder. So she's in training to be on the PAC, the President's Advisory Council. We're very, very fortunate to get to learn from Wanda this morning. Good morning, Wanda. How are you?
Good morning, everybody, and good morning, Kelly. And I was calculating, Kelly, I think you wake up at 5 or 4 in the morning now because she is 1 hour earlier in where you at. And so over here is 8 o'clock, for you is 7, and you were already talking to me at 7 my time, so it was 6 for you. So I'm sure that you wake up really early.
For half the year, it's kind of weird. Arizona doesn't have a...
Oh, you don't change time.
We don't change time. So for half the year, we're Mountain Time, and then half the year, we're Pacific. So right now, I'm on Mountain Time.
Oh, you Mountain right now, okay.
But
okay.
I still do get up early. I watch my class at 5, so I appreciate it.
Okay, well, thank you so much for everything you do and for these introductions and all of the things that you do to keep us on track and to keep us moving forward with our goals, with our intentions of doing better in our business. And yesterday I talked about 7 reasons for me that I thought that I needed to succeed in life and so on. And one of the things that I mentioned was education, that it's important to be educated. It doesn't matter if it's traditional education or if you have a formal education or this just acquiring the knowledge and skills that we do in Renatus, which is not a traditional education, but it's kind of formal because it's well organized and everything. But in reality, it doesn't guide you into a certificate or diploma or so on. But knowledge is so important. And after I finished the call yesterday, we had our PIT meeting, and we have Jay Stark from corporate coming to the meeting. And it was interesting because he mentioned and he referred to the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And one of the quotes that he used was like, he kind of asked us, what is how you succeed or something? Oh, and everybody was like, success. And honestly, he said, no, it's persistence. And then, wow. persistence never fails you. When you persist in something, you will never fail. And that makes me remember about um, Hager. He was the founder of Amway, and he said that he never missed a goal. He never missed a goal because when he gets to the goal and the deadline, if he didn't complete it, then he reset the goal until he fulfilled the goal. So that means that he always reach his goals. And that is very interesting. So, as last night when we were thinking that I was going to be teaching this class or facilitating this call, I'm like, what am I going to talk about? And for my call, I have the whole week, but for this one was a very short time. But after the call with the Pete yesterday, I'm like, I need to go back and read again Think and Grow Rich because I have read it maybe a couple times, but I think there are some principles there that we all need to apply in our lives to improve and to become better and to create the wealth that we need. So I was searching for some ideas, and there are some principles that I found that are very similar to what I presented yesterday. But to become wealthy, there are like 10 or 11 principles. And one is to become educated, be educated. We talk about this, and I am the type of person that I feel like I'd be a lifelong learner. That's for me. I can keep learning and learning. I see something important and I just learn and learn and learn. So when it comes to deals and when it comes to marketing, this is what learning is so important. And I want you to think about this. I want to concentrate more in the success and becoming successful through learning. And this is important because sometimes we see a challenge and we just overcome and we don't know how to overcome it in reality. We're doing this please, and one of the girls was talking to me about this challenge that she has with um, some contracts and so on. And I said, okay, let's look at the situation, not the problem. Let's look at the situation and tell me if it has a solution, yes or no. Yes, it has a solution. It may take a little longer, to get the results we want, but the solution is there. So when you see something, it's not about what you are seeing in front of you like it's crumbling. I had another call with another ICM yesterday, and he's like, oh, I was in this deal and everything was so bad. And I said, okay, let's rephrase it. Did you learn from that mistake? Yes. And I recuperated the money in the next deal. I said, so the important lesson here is not the money that you lost, because money is only a tool. You can make money again and again and again, and you lose money and you make it again, and because it's there, it's just a piece of paper that have value. But when you spend the time, because time is more important, and the knowledge, those two currencies are so important. When the knowledge and the time that you spend on that deal that even went wrong, and you say, I learned this, and this, and that will never happen again, then you say it was a productive deal. It was a good deal, actually, because what I learned has more value than what I lost in money. If that makes sense? So I want you to think about any challenges that you have in your life in which you think everything's crumble in front of you. Everything is supposedly bad. Remember that the only one who puts meaning into something is you. You are the only one that put the bad meaning into something. But any situation, you can turn it around and say it in a positive way. Okay. It's just incredible how your words and your mindset and everything just set you aside on how you're going to present it into your brain. And when you turn everything into a positive thing, then everything is better for you. I was talking to Hilda yesterday, and we were trying to analyze what I also mentioned yesterday about me being in Puerto Rico, doing all the um, money making activities and everything, and then comparing to coming to Utah and keep doing what I'm doing and my routines and all of the things that I normally do, but feeling that I have more results here than there. And the denominator that we found is that, like I said, my dad has the TV on like all the time, and the negativity that comes from the news and the programs and silly things that they make in the TV, all of that. Even if I go to my room and I secluded myself and all of that, I still hearing, and my subconscious mind is receiving all of that negativity, and that is like a vampire of energy, things that are getting out of you energy. For more than you trying to be upbeat, the energy is sucked out of you. So that's why we have to protect ourselves, and what we put in our mind is so important. It's so important. So there are many things you can just search and search, and I don't want to go through all these principles because only I look through it very quickly, and I'm not feel like proficiency on talking about all the principles. But the common denominator that I feel is important, and especially when you go back and read, I'm just going to encourage everybody to go back and review um, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. But there are about 13 principles in that book. And again, common denominator is education. Common denominator is persistent. And that is what we need to put into our business, persistent. I'm doing a bliss right now, and about 60 plus people join the group. Not everybody is active in the group doing the things that we are suggesting, but everybody who is participating actively, one person said, I have sent 50 invitations, and it's rude because nobody have replied and things like that. But we all start saying no, but persistency is the key here. You doing the activities, you doing the things that are required, and it's okay. Remember the book that says go for no's, go for no's. So count your no's is better, because then you're going to find your yes, and your yes is going to be a Michael Hoggins person. Think out that way. Well, we're going to have somebody who is being duplicating the efforts, and that's what is important. So when you just seek for that person that is have all the desire to move forward and to do their best in their life. Okay. I want to open up the conversation. Let me check on the chat here.
I was just going to type in the chat, but since
Yes,
you're opening it up,
please.
I love what you said in the
Yes.
Blitz group last night. You were mentioning the asleep, awake, aware. Do you want to
Oh, yes.
on that a little bit?
Yes. This is what I learned from a coach this past year. Actually, I joined this coaching program, and it was about marketing. And the coach just taught us that you guests are in a sleep mode right now. Okay. So we are trying to invite them for tomorrow's event, but they're sleeping. And think about that you are knocking the door of their house, and they are in the bedroom sleeping, and you're just pounding the door. Come on, Kelly. I'm gonna use Kelly. Kelly is in her room, just sleeping. And I want to invite her to the event on Saturday. I'm knocking the door, Kelly, and she can't even hear me. Okay. And I'm just leaving all these. I start putting flyers underneath of the door and stuff, and kept knocking, but she's sleeping. So she's not reading that. She's not seeing it because she's sleeping. So what are we going to do with that guest or with Keely to wake her up? Okay. So instead of making that noise and trying to wake her up, we have to easily connect first. Connect with the guest. Get that get get to know them more, get to be on their life again. I had been connecting with two individuals this, well, actually three, because one is a couple and this one is a couple too. So we were going to go to lunch today and we changed it for tomorrow, dinner tomorrow. But basically I haven't talked to these people for a long time. Can I just say, oh look, come to my event? They're gonna first, they probably gonna ignore my advertisement, ignore my ad, because they have other things. Wanda's crazy, she's always in something else. What else is she's in right now? You know, they're not gonna pay attention. Besides, statistics says that sometimes people need to see the ad 7 times before they take action. So if you invite in this week for this week event, you're gonna get a lot of no's, and it's okay. But think about that guest that is sleeping. The person is sleeping. Then you get them to the point that they are awake. Okay. When they are awake, they at least read you out. They at least read your message. But they may not take any action. They may not even reply to your ad or to your text or to your call. They see your number calling and say, oh, that's Wanda, she's probably selling me whatever, boom, and then hang up. So once they are awake, then you need to move them onto becoming aware of what you're doing, making aware of what you're doing. And that is how you bring your guests from sleeping, awake, aware. Once they are aware, oh, Wanda does fix and flip. Huh, look at that video. She uploaded, she did a live in her property. I want to do that. I'm going to tell you this, but out of all of the people that I brought into this business personally, not my qualified sales for other people that I help, but people that I personally brought, most of them, and I will say probably 90% of them, I never called them. They reach out to me because they saw a live video. So basically, they saw my live videos over and over, over and over, over and over, different houses. And they saw me, and I haven't done it in a while. This year, I have not have my presence online as I used to. But over and over, I was just in this house, in this house. If it wasn't my own deal, it was somebody else's deal. And I'm like, oh, look, I'm in this property. Look at what this person is doing. And I went live. In every house tour, I went live. So my friends started watching me. First, they were asleep. They didn't even recognize that my presence was there online. And suddenly, because they saw videos and videos and videos and videos, and they started liking it, they became awake. And then they became aware, oh, she's really doing this. And they start asking me instead of me calling them. So, and I can go through my whole list of sales. And I said, this person called me, this person called me, this person called me, this person called me. Why? Because my presence was there and they went through that whole process of being sleeping, being awake, and then became aware, and they make decisions because they were aware of what I was doing and they wanted to do the same. That makes sense? So think about that type of relationship when you meet somebody. There are some people who are, you know, and you will see people in different levels. Not everybody is going to be, everybody's going to be asleep, but you will take the temperature of where they at. And if they're haven't contacted you for a while, if they haven't talked to you for a while, think about they being asleep. Thinking that you start knocking the door first and say, hey, Kelly, I'm here. I want to have lunch with you. Can we go out? Can we do this? And reconnect. The new currency right now in this time and age and with this COVID craziness is connections. People are looking for connections. They looking to belong to something. And this community is awesome, especially now how everything is set up online. You can connect with people all over the nation and even all over the world when with this guy Mullet, what is his name?
Anthony.
Anthony Mullet comes online. So we have people from all over the place in the world. So it's just so important, guys, that we bring the people to that awareness. And then they see what you do. They see your attitude. Then apply the principles of straight line persuasion, passion, and enthusiasm, and being all happy, you know, show that you're happy. Even if there are circumstances that may not be going as well as you want in a particular deal, or maybe you haven't done the deal yet and you're looking for that deal, it's okay, because everything is a learning process. Everything is an education. And that is what you need to say, okay, what am I taking from this situation? What am I going to evaluate from this situation that I can put inside of me and move forward and do differently? Like I've been sending the text, right? And then I start thinking about it. Okay, I'm doing this again because I just want to send text. But where are they? Where are my guests? What is the best way to knock the door for me to really wake them up and make them aware and make them awake and then aware of what I'm doing to get the yes? What I'm going to do? Maybe I need to, like I said, invite them for lunch, make a call, be something else. I had another experience. I sent a text to this girl to invite her. And recently I noticed in Facebook that she had become a flight attendant and she was really happy. So she posted and so on. But I sent her the text anyway and she replied. And I'm like, that's so good. So she replied and she said, you know, Wanda, I'm in Alaska right now. You know, I became flight attendant and I'm over here. And now I'm stuck here because I was in this flight to Europe. And when I came back, one of our crew members um, came up with positive COVID. So now the whole crew in that flight is in quarantine. So I'm stuck here in Alaska in the hotel. I cannot even go out. And the last thing I want to talk is about real estate. She just told me just like that. And what do I need to do? Do I just, ignore that? No, she's in pain. She has a situation. So remember that people don't care how much you care unless you care. Okay, I don't know, I forgot how to say that, but people don't care about how much you know unless you show how much you care, or something like that, no? So basically, with this girl, I'm like, okay, let me reach out to her. I acknowledge and remember the other things that feel, felt, and found. Feel, felt, and found. So I start applying those principles. Oh man, I know how you feel. I have felt the same way. And I found that, so I went through that with her. And I said, I hope you feel better. I'm sorry about the situation that you're in. I know how excited you were on flying and everything, and you have your first or second flight, and then you were in quarantine. So I didn't mention real estate anymore because what I want to show is that I care. So she told me that like maybe Monday or Tuesday. Yesterday, she came back to my mind, and I said, let me send her a text. Hi, how are you doing? I hope that things are getting better with you. She sent me this text that it just broke my heart. She's like, I feel so lonely and depressed here. And then I sent her another note, just encouraging her. And, let me read you what I sent her. But what I'm doing is reconnecting with her to make sure that she is okay. So I sent her this. She says, thank you, Wanda. I feel fine physically, but I'm feeling lonely and depressed. I appreciate you for thinking of me and reaching out. Then I said, oh, I know you were excited about your trip, and I understand it is stressful to be stuck without flying. In a positive note, think about the nice things you can do for yourself during these days. You always have yourself. Look inside you and discover more beautiful things about yourself. The universe gave you this time for a reason. And she say, thank you, Wanda. Thank you so much, Wanda. And she wrote a little heart. So basically, what I'm doing is connecting with her first, making sure she knows I'm caring and sincerely I care so she can feel it. So a couple days later, I'm going to send her another note. How are you feeling? Or maybe today, because if she's telling me she's depressed, I don't want her to be in depressing mode, right? And just reconnecting with her, eventually my conversation about real estate investing will come back. And then she will be more awake and receptive to listen and become aware. And then she can probably make a decision. Does that make sense? So, but when you just send blasting texts, you may find that most of them are not going to reply, not because they are rude, just because they are sleeping and they have not yet connected with you at the level of that conversation. They're not ready yet. So I don't want you to be frustrated because people are not replying to you text or because they are not responding or saying yes. They are not ready. They are not yet aware. They're not even awake. So you have to bring them then to all of those no's. Remember that they are not no, they are no yet, not yet. And then you go back to those customers and to those prospects and keep building and building that relationship until they become aware. Let's see if there are any questions. Let's see, Bringham, thank you for your comment, which means you can learn from anyone. Yes, I agree. Be persistent, never stop learning from yourself, other mistakes and failures, and model for master. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's open it up for a conversation. What do you think when you are talking to your customers and your prospects? Do you feel like that is a process, like they are asleep and then you have to wake them up and make them aware? What do you think about this process?
One, I have a comment, if that's all right with
Yes,
you.
yes, go
So
ahead.
I've been thinking about what you're saying about how do you wake up these people that you might not have talked to for a little while. I've been doing lunch meetings with people from different groups from my past. You know, it's been really fun. I've had a couple of people that I've invited actually come out to meetings, and it's just been really great to reconnect with people and help them make just made aware of what I'm doing and also what they're doing. It's a much easier way to reconnect and wake them up than just calling them, you know, say, hey, I actually want to meet with you, go eat, or I want to go and do an activity with you. And being in their presence is something that has totally transformed why I'm doing Renata's marketing. Because
oh, look at my friend.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the interesting things is when you're marketing to friends and family, the relationship is number one. You don't sell people based off of what we have. We help sell people on why. It reminds me of Simon Sinek and his search for why. If you go and you understand your why, you totally believe the Renata's four core beliefs, and then you can find a way to make it your own. Like that's why people buy, is because they believe in you and they see your motivation and your why way more than your how and your what. We have a fantastic what. It works. Like you look at all the different testimonials, our product works, but when it comes down to it, people buy off of their why. And when we understand that drive system, you know, we're able to communicate with people and validate them, give them the system that will get them to where they want to go, so they can achieve their goals and create the lifestyle for themselves. Like we have the winning package. We just need to find a way to wake them up, like you said.
Yes. Thank you, Brigham, for your comments. And definitely go back to those friends. Go back to those circles of influence that you have, whether they're family, friends, acquaintance, and then you strangers. I gave a training about this before. You have this circle of influence. The closest one to you are your family, then your friends, then your acquaintance, and then your strangers. And you just have to reconnect with them. Connect with them at a level that they know that you are caring, that you care for them. Find their pain, because once you know their pain, you can bring a solution. With this couple that I met on Wednesday, we met and we were reconnecting. I'm just saying the things that I'm doing. So they're happy for me. I said, if are you investing right now? And they said, yes, I have a rental and so on. We didn't talk about taxes yet and stuff, but I'm still reconnecting. Now we have to just meet again, and I will invite them here or something. We will make that relationship stronger, and then they still see my results. They become really aware of what I'm doing, and I keep discovering their pain, although they are financially well right now, but there should be a pain there somewhere. Taxes, perhaps, velocity banking. They're purchasing a house right now, but it's with mortgage, and the closing was going to be last week, and then now it's delayed until December. But is why? Because the bank is controlling that mortgage process. Okay. But when we go through the process, once they get into that new house, then I can say, oh, look at that baby. Then I can say, you know what? You can do a HELOC here. They may not be aware of HELOC. Okay. So all of the information that we have in the education, that's why it's important to dive into the courses. So we know that we have over 500 solutions to solve pain, to solve something in their life that will get them from being asleep to make them awake and aware that, oh, I can do a HELOC in this property. I can apply velocity banking. They don't know. You know that 90% of your acquaintance, your friends and family, they don't know about velocity banking. You know that for fact, because that's something new. And mostly Renato students are the ones who are disseminating that information. So that's totally new. And we didn't know, we just learned in the classes, and that's what you need to take that piece of the education to get into that solution. Who doesn't want to, if they own a house, who doesn't want to pay it off faster? Everybody. Everybody wants to pay it faster. Everybody will like to save in interest. And you have the solution. And that is a pain. So you just need to bring it up. I love the way that Richard always have like the presentations, is like mini presentations, where he brings the quadrant, the 4 ways quadrant from Robert Kiyosaki. And he guides the people into different ways of solving the pain. And one of them is about paying your house faster. And another one, and probably in one training we can go over this, but another one is on how we're going to get out of paying this much taxes because I work for W-2. I'm a W-2 employee. So all of those mini presentations are important. If you have not take ATM, I will encourage you to search for in Richard's website and go to ATM training, because you will learn several different ways to solve problems for people. You will learn it all over and over and over. That's what Richard masters. So I will encourage you on learning all of those strategies that allows you to pinpoint the solution for the pain that people have, whether it's for taxes, whether it's for interest, whether it's for making more money or getting out of debt, all of that, we have the solution. We have the solution. I like something that I pick up from Michael yesterday in his intro presentation, that you offer, when you make the offer at the end of your presentation, or when you're reconnecting and they are aware and they want to make decisions, they're ready, and you sell, you start downgrading instead of upgrading, obviously. So you start from your combo, an XP combo of 23,000, and then see what are they capable of. If they're not capable of that, then you move it to the 20,000. They're not capable of that, then you move into the 8,000, and so on until then the last one is the essentials. But what he did and suggested was something really interesting, because he offered the essentials in a way of test drive. Oh, you can test drive this one for 1,994 and test it. If you don't like it, you have 7 days of rescission and you can just get your money back. No questions. And that, when they test it and they go into the education, they're going to keep it and they're going to upgrade. So that's something that we can take in consideration. So let's see, do we have any questions? I know, Bingham, you put in here, this is the Siemens Snake Tech Talk reference of Isaac.
Do you know?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Do you know the website for Richard? And if for those who wanted to maybe check out the ATM training?
Brigham, do you know it by heart? I know
there is an ATM Facebook page.
Yes.
That's where I get all that information. If you look up on Richard Stock's thing, I'll see if I can snap a picture of it so you guys can do that real quick.
Yeah, Brigham is really active in the community there. So, all right. So that's a very good resource. ATM is awesome. Take that training. I will recommend it. Like even take it 2 times. I have taken it 2 or 3 times, and I have taken EMT, so like 3 times. So these trainings will get you into the core belief and the money-making activities to understand them really, really well and practice them very, very well. Okay. So any other question? Let me see. Isaac, you
Okay,
have
so that group is called ATM Success, by the way.
ATM Success. Good. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
ATM.
How many times do you give people?
And that is a private Facebook group.
There's a question here. Bobby said, how many times do you give people a chance to watch the video before you let them go? Honestly, I send the video, and like this week I sent a video. I added this person into the website, the Real Estate Investors United, and I tagged them into the videos, and then I said how long it will take you. So I commit people to watch them, and I set up a time to then review them with them. And it's a two-way street, right? You give them something, you expect something. If you don't set up the expectations, they know you're gonna sit there like, did you watch it? Did you watch it? Did you watch it? And they may say no. So basically you have to set up expectations when you set a video. Don't just send videos. You say, okay, I'm gonna send you this video. When do you have time to watch it? And when will be a good time for us to review it? Let's set up a meeting after the meetings. Always set up a meeting after the meeting and say, okay, I'm going to talk to you on Friday. Like I am going to talk to somebody on tonight. I actually have 2 one-on-ones just because I said, okay, here are the videos, watch it, we're meeting on Friday. And we set up that appointment. And during the week, I have sent one of the guys, I sent information and I said, hey, how are you doing with the videos? Just to send him a reminder. And today we are meeting. So basically you guide them through that process. Remember, sleeping, make them awake and then aware. Kili, can you read the question for me, please? Because it's just hard for me to look.
Of course. Okay, so we have Bobby Johnson. How many times do you have to give people a chance to watch the video before you let them go? You're muted, Wanda.
Oh, that's the one I just answered. I just send a video, but then I set expectations for the day.
Next we have Connie. She says, I have a broke mentality. It's holding me back. Do you have a book you would recommend for this? And we've got a couple of recommendations in the chat, but what would you recommend, Wanda?
Think and Grow Rich. That's the best way. Yeah, that's the best way to get out of your blockage. Remember, and sometimes you have to go back. What put you into that situation? And most of the time are circumstances that you live through your childhood. Something that your parents were doing with their relationship with money that you picked up and your brain accepted that as the norm. So that's why your relationship with money is probably weak. But remember that you can switch that around and reprogram your brain to say, I love money. I use money to bless others. Money is a tool for me, and I can make it, and it's there available for me in abundance. And I deserve to use it for good. When you put that in your mind, you rewire your brain for better. Yes. What else is in the chat?
Just book recommendations, no other questions.
Okay, so anybody?
We do have a question.
Okay, all right.
What do you do when the prospect says, send me information and I can call you?
No, you call them. Remember, you have to have in control. So I will send you information, but when are we going to meet? You set that expectation. I don't just send stuff for sending stuff, because
say
if
that
you don't, yeah, go ahead.
So say the prospect says they're requesting that you send them information and then they're going to call you. What would you respond to that to turn it around, to flip it back on them, or to regain control?
No, because you won't send anything without setting an appointment to meet with them later. So you don't just gonna send them and wait for them to call you back. No, you say, well, I'd rather send you the information, but let's set up a time for us to meet. So how long it will take you to study this, and then you set up that time. You need to continue keeping the control of the conversation. You don't just send information and let them be. No.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I had this situation literally happen yesterday with one of my previous friends from college. What I ended up doing to still keep control, like Wanda was saying, but answer his question as best as I could, is there's on the Myonatus website, we have the course catalog. It's like 32 pages long. And I felt like he was very much so tied into systems because of his job. So I was like, he wants to do research. So I'm going to go give him some stuff to research, and I will follow up with him in a few days and said, hey, can you read this in the next 2 days? And I will give you a call back. I felt like that was enough information that he would be able to generate some extra questions. And if he's actually not interested, it will be very easy for him to see using that. But if he is, that should pique his interest a little bit.
Yeah, and especially for intellectuals. Intellectuals want to have something in writing. So that catalog is, to me, one of the best tools, and the one that have the whole explanation of everything. When I have an intellect, that one anyway, you have to send to everybody. That's a rule. But I particularly, for intellectuals, I send the catalog as well. So they can see every class, every instructor, everything. And I give them some time for them to really digest the information and to study it, because that's their drive. And they're intellectuals. They want to see it. They want to take time. And an intellectual will take more time for you to close them, because they really want to understand and have the time to know where they're getting into it. The person who I'm going to be talking to him tonight, I've been giving him information for the last 2 weeks. He's an intellectual. I understand that. He understands that now as well, because we went through the drive, and I told him, you as an intellectual, you need the information. Here it is. So when can we talk again? We've been setting in appointments along the way. And tonight, I think it's going to be a decision-making time, because last appointment, we were talking about funding and how to get the funding and all of that. And I gave him the information about the funding. So now it's decision-making time after 2 weeks. But he had that time, and he feels validated because I gave him that time. So that's really important. Okay, guys, we had an excellent call today. Thank you so much for participating. We have 1 more minute, and I know we have to jump into the dream call. So thank you for your participation. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Wanda.
Bye-bye.
I have a brand new ICM that is, I don't do a lot on Facebook, but he's doing Facebook. He did it. Scott Rose took a picture of himself, said, hey, I'm excited. I'm starting my training, my real estate education. And then he's getting some likes and whatnot. How would you respond? Anybody that's currently doing marketing on Facebook, how will you engage them? What specifically are you doing at that point?
Yeah, in Facebook, I just post things like for my deals and so on. And once the people are interested, then I just get them into that website, the Real Estate Investors United, and tag them into videos so they can start watching videos. And that way, I already set up expectations that they are system dependent, no mentor dependent, no ICM dependent. I don't want people depending on me.
Perfect.
But
Thank you.
we can keep the conversation outside here because the time is over. But text me or something, Doc, and I'd be happy to go over with you. Okay.
Thank you, Wanda.
You're welcome. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you, Wanda.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
Thank you so much,
Bye-bye.
Wanda. Appreciate
Have
it.
a good one.